What's going on, MMA fans? I'm back to do my MMA Corner number 21 video. I'm going to go over some topics that were sent to me. Real quick, want to apologize ahead of time for not having this video up last week. Like I've mentioned in my other videos, school's crazy right now, trying to multitask, trying to follow MMA, keep these videos up. So it's quite a challenge right now, but I'm trying to keep up to the task. I'm going to go over a couple topics that were sent to me real quick. Tyler Shum, Asylumite, Bod Mamo, and or is it Bod Marno? I apologize if I butchered that. And Super Gilby. I'm going to get to your topics on my next MMA Corner video. I'm going to go over 4 today, and kind of go into depth about them. The first one that was sent to me was from 1988 SEM 2007. Wanted me to talk about Jamie Varner and Eddie Alvarez. What do I see happening in that fight? Both guys accomplished wrestlers, both guys technical strikers. Eddie Alvarez, I think, is the stronger, bigger fighter. And I think in that fight with Jamie Varner, I think gives him some serious problems. The only knock, of course, on Eddie Alvarez is his subpar submission defense. I think Eddie Alvarez is able to out-muscle, out-strike, even, out-wrestle Jamie Varner. And I think Alvarez 9 times out of 10 takes that fight, stylistically at least. So that's how I look at it. Thanks for the topic. Wrestling Brain wanted me to talk about why doesn't more MMA shows have like a WWE style show? I think, we've seen that with Dream and Pride and K1 and even Affliction. More people, and I'm going to reference to a video that I've actually watched a couple times, and I know he's talked about it, is Josh, T-Slay 1974. He does wrestling videos, but also does MMA videos. He's talked about how he's not happy with the shows themselves not having that entertainment element. I think, in a way, he's right, and in a way I disagree a little bit. I think that you have to be able to bridge between keeping it MMA and entertainment. When you go too far and you make it completely too much entertainment, you're not keeping true to MMA, what is mixed martial arts. And that's what a lot of people watch these events for, these diehard MMA fans. They watch it for that value. There's nothing wrong with having entertainment. Affliction does a good job of that. That's the perfect example of a company that has taken the entertainment value and incorporated it into MMA and not gone overboard. Some people said that Pride was a little overboard. I disagree. I think Pride had a very, very good entertainment element, but kept true to MMA. And that's the challenge, is trying to keep it true to MMA but not go overboard. So I think that in some instances you see too many shows go overboard, like the Elite XC CBS show. I think that was a little crazy. But nonetheless, I definitely think that can and should be incorporated in some instances. My dream card, and this is a couple of these topics are from Wrestling Brain. GSP Anderson Silva, BJ Penn Shinya Aoki, a Fedor Rampage fight, a Randy Couture Fedor fight, if that could ever happen, which I highly doubt that'll ever happen as far as Fedor and Randy, and even Rampage. I don't think any of those fights will ever happen anytime soon. But that's just kind of a brief summary of what I would like to see on a dream card. Andrei Arlovsky, what's next? He is going to be making his boxing debut. I should have wrote down the date and when he's doing it. I don't have that in front of me, but you can go look that up on MMA Junkie, MMA News. He is going to be actually having a pro boxing fight, so it looks like he's kind of transitioning his way away from MMA, at least for right now. So that should be interesting to see how he does. How could have Pride survived? Real quick in a nutshell, and I've talked about this before, really the downfall of Pride was the corruption, of course the Yakuza backing and stuff. And Japan is very, very hard in the media end to really market anything and to really have a successful venue when it comes to television. There's a lot of corruption with the television market there. You got people higher up not wanting certain things or then pulling out too much money. So I really think if the corruption wouldn't have taken place for Pride, they probably would have survived. Thanks for the topic. GTO Gunda wanted me to talk about why do fighters touch gloves? Why can't they just start without it? Really, I think the reason that you see fighters touch gloves and why it's been more and more implemented today is it's a show of respect for not only yourself but your opponent. And what really separates MMA today from back in the dark ages of MMA, back in the early 1990s, Pancrase, the early UFC events. There wasn't enough of sportsmanship, and a lot of people looked at it that way and went, wow, it's kind of like dogfighting. All these guys are doing is going in there just beating the crap out of each other. That's all they care about. Now that people see that this has sportsmanship, it has sanctioning, there are rules, people are more open to say, yeah, it's more and more like a sport now. And I think that's why you see more of glove touching. It's a show of respect to your opponent, it's a show of respect to yourself, and to go to show that you're in there to do your job, and that you're in there, to have fun. You're in there to fight, but you're in there to do it as a sport and not as a blood sport. So, thanks for the topic. UFC Mans wanted me to talk about Rampage and Keith Jardine. I'm not going to give a prediction on that, but what I will say is both guys match up stylistically very well. Rampage, sound technical boxer, likes to move forward. Keith Jardine has had problems against guys like Vanderlei Silva, like Houston Alexander. Rampage has that kind of style that could give Keith problems, but on the other side, on the flip of a coin, Keith Jardine has a style similar to Forrest Griffin, leg kicks, which is what gave Rampage problems at UFC 86. So both of these guys, they match up stylistically. It should be a very, very interesting fight. Why did John Fitch and Junior Dos Santos get put on the undercard? As far as Junior Dos Santos, it's kind of funny. Karsten was talking about that. He said that they, what was it that he said? That he kind of went into the shadows, came out as Dana White's assassin, took out Fabricio Verdum, and then dissipated. I really can't explain why Dos Santos is on the undercard. Maybe they feel that he needs to, work his way up there. I'm not sure. As far as John Fitch, that whole merchandising agreement, all this, the stuff that happened with the UFC and the bad blood and the bad words, I think that kind of caused that. Hopefully we'll see both of these guys, especially John Fitch, on the main card again. They really deserve to be on there. And Dos Santos is an up-and-coming fighter. I can maybe understand why he might be on the undercard, but John Fitch definitely needs to be on there again. He's a sound fighter. He's one of the top 5 fighters at welterweight in the world, so he definitely deserves to be there. Okay, those were the topics that were sent to me. Feel free to leave some comments, some suggestions. Leave comments, constructive, negative, positive, as always. These videos are intended for you, the video watcher, the subscriber, the viewer. Leave me some topics that you want me to go over for this Q&A segment that I always do. And on that note, you guys have a great day, and make sure you check out my sponsors.